we'll do the pledge first?
Yes.
So, all right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have to announce the date and time.
Yes, so it is May 10th, thank you. And it is 7:01 p.m. And this is the Ware Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. I am Lisa Purington Grolian, and I am the Parks and Rec coordinator. To my right is Denise Purington, who's a member, and to my left is Pam Moole, another member. And I believe entering right now is David Lundeen, who is the vice chair. Janine Lynch, our chairperson, is unavailable this evening, or she would be here, but she's with us in spirit because she's made sure that we have a really good full agenda. So, all right. All right. So amendments to the agenda. I need to add that we have two other applications that have come in.
Do you have an agenda, Dave?
I did. You gave to him.
Here's the next one. Oh, you got one? Okay, good. All right, so we have two other applications that we can talk about in non-public at the end. And actually, I think we may even have more than that. So we do accept applications after the official date. However, whether or not they're considered is only based on need. And at this point, we've hired everybody we feel we need. But these would be two returners, so that could be, anyway, it's for discussion. We can talk about that. All right, Dave, I'm gonna turn this over to you since you are the vice chair, so you should be leading the agenda.
Okay,
and not me.
so it looks like we have no public comment because there's nobody here and we don't have anybody on the phone. On to the tennis courts. Do you have an update, Denise?
I have a couple, so they did get the trees down, which was good. Those are all down, so that's good. I went to the.
And they're all cleaned up?
I haven't been up there to look, but I'm assuming they are. I didn't see anything on the ground.
I was over there the other day and it didn't look like, I didn't walk around it and
Yeah.
inspect, but it looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the selectmen last week at their meeting voted to have the courts open on May 21st. Naomi's having signs made actually for all venues that says, based on the RSA, I don't know what number
Use
it
at your
is.
own risk.
Play at your own risk or use at your own risk. So,
Wonderful.
I did tell her if she got the signs and needed help putting them up. Bruce has been pretty good at doing that, so he can. So if, after the meeting, if we get the dates, we'll try to put everything up on Friday and blow the courts off and.
That's
get 'em
wonderful.
over.
And if you need help and I'm around, I can.
Yeah,
can try
I
to
think
come
we
down.
should be good, but if we do, I'll let you
You
know.
may need some WD-40 or some sort of
Yep.
lubricant, and then and a wrench.
I-
like
A ratchet.
rat.
We took them down, so
You can also use a tire iron,
Yeah.
because there's that big hole in there, and you can use the tire
Yeah.
iron to help tighten it up.
yeah.
Yeah, and also a pair of vice grips works good too,
That's what it was, vice grips, yeah.
because those will get on, you can clamp onto those pieces. Unfortunately, I don't think the posts were part of our,
So,
Yeah.
so that's good. And then I did speak with, numerous times I've spoken with Vermont Rec. Right now, we are on the schedule for July. I know that there's some disappointment, including myself. I wish it was June, but however, because you need so many days in a row of warm weather, I'd hate to see
We're
us
just
too
not getting it,
soon
yeah.
and then push us off.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be safe. And again, I think I just, and one of the guys from there called me, he was down here looking at the courts. You know, the larger, cracks will be filled with this rubber stuff. It's like a tape. And the smaller cracks will just be fixed normally. and then a surface. And again, this is a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
To get us a couple of years, but I would like to, maybe while we're waiting for the next, any more to happen, we start strategizing a plan for what are we gonna do
Yeah.
to get we've got 2 years, which will go by quickly, 2, maybe 3, to get the funding we need, which means we really need to get a quote and
Yeah.
figure out the fence will have to come down, but is it salvageable to go back up, and
Yeah, and I think that we really need to think about doing another ballot item, right, warrant article for that. I think it would be, this is another reason why Chase Park really should be a fund that comes into
Yeah.
us, so that we have money for these things, and we don't have to ask
So-
taxpayers for it.
I guess I'd like some clarification. So there actually is a state grant that's given out every year, or not every year, but they're on this year it was the 32nd, so it's been a while. When I found it, we'd missed the application date. The application date was April 22nd. So I want to put it in my schedule to maybe see if we could apply. We might not get it. It's for outdoor recreation facilities.
Yeah.
And, but we would need to have some kind of plan, so that gives us till next spring to at least have something that if we were to fill out the application,
Yep.
we could do that. I continue to look for grants from other sources, tennis, pickleball, but those are small. And the other thing is, what ability from a in-kind donation or donations, can we, as a board member, solicit those, or would it have to be?
And we can't solicit donations and we can't accept donations because everything goes into the general fund, because we don't have our own account.
But if we had our own account, then we could accept those things towards, say.
Yep.
But I
So,
think the Board of Select, we'd have to check with the Board of Selectmen, and we don't have our,
Well,
they can earmark it and say, this is for X,
right,
and they put it into a fund to sit there and wait until,
so I had an opportunity last week to talk with one of the selectmen. He called me, just questions about the courts themselves. And we did talk about, opportunities, including, if we could raise a certain amount of money, whether it be the pickleball club, tennis people, whatever, this committee, and go to the town with some matching funds, he felt our success rate would be higher than if we didn't. So maybe what I need to do is, really focus on, like you said, a warrant article, but also what would it take to get our own account, which I think is a warrant article.
it was a warrant article. It was on this year's ballot. I forget which group it was.
it was sanitation.
Yes,
Sanitation put
they
in,
had
for like half of their, whatever they collect for
revenues.
Oh, okay,
revenues for,
to go
like,
back in.
it goes into something to help fund
Their initiatives.
they're basically replacing their equipment and things like that, so
Yeah.
it goes into like replacing, because I think it was like, I wanna say off the top of my head, it was 300 grand
It makes the
for a
best
new,
sense.
300 grand for that new trailer that they have for the
Because it makes
trash.
sense for us to be trying to serve a greater number of people, to do the best work that we can, to provide the cleanest environment that we can, to, being hard work, doing all of those things, because then we have it coming back into our own budget. It just makes, fiscal sense, it makes community sense.
And
I don't
also,
know why we
everything's
don't
more,
have-
everything's more expensive too.
So I'm willing to, do a little bit of, look at what that warrant article was and, really do some work over the summer. Because I do think we should have a plan ready to go for,
In January.
yeah, and I'm not here in January, but if I could have stuff, ready
Yeah.
to go, but, and I look at all these other towns that, Warner, I've been going over to Concord. Concord's opening 2 more courts. Granted, I know they're a city, but,
But Warner's not.
and
There's a
they
lot of
just,
small
they
towns
just
that
did a really nice job with their courts, and it's a combo. I just think that there's more we could do, and maybe even talking to some other towns about what they're doing, you know, Goffstown, Parks and Rec, and New Boston. I had talked to them before when I was on the Historical Society about the gazebo and things like that, just to see what we could do to be able to have a fund,
Yeah.
and if we can get grants, if we could get donations.
We are not allowed to fundraise as a committee, so that's a problem for us, but the pickleball club can.
And as a member of the pickleball club, could I be part of that, or do I?
Oh,
have
no,
to
you
include-
can. We
okay.
just are not allowed to.
Okay.
I can help out personally on my own. I
Okay,
just can't,
all
we
right.
can't as a board do it.
So I really, there's some things that I think after talking to the selectmen, the other thing, and I think is a great idea, you know, is do we start to look at maybe some clinics and things that we hold for, say, kids 12 years old and above, and maybe you know, do you do a week-long clinic? Sort of like a baseball camp, but you know,
Those
say
are
a
things that pickleball
camp.
can do.
But yeah, pickleball could do it. It all depends. It comes down to though, whether it's like whack, where they have to, you gotta show us insurance that you got the kids covered. So heaven forbid a kid falls and breaks out his 2 front teeth.
I'd like to, you know, again, look at, is there any opportunity to get some input on, you know, can each parent sign a waiver? Relinquishing,
provides- does WAC
because I
provide
think one of the challenges is when you start to mandate
And that's-
insurance, like the pickleball club.
That's why I
now
talked to you
have
about before, if you could get under the whack umbrella, that's the
Can't.
best thing, and they won't
They
let you
only
do it
serve it
because,
until 8th grade.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's only
it's
youth.
the age.
But you could do it if it was
We
that
could,
great.
we
But
could,
WAC hires,
we could
they
do,
allow outside people to come in and use, like, the gazebo field to do those trainings for soccer.
well, WAC,
So isn't it
I could
similar?
go back to WAC. When I went to WAC, I didn't talk about maybe a youth pickleball, you know, whatever. We talked just about adult, but, you know, maybe there's some
But you know what?
opportunity.
If you did that, the money would go into WAC.
But then maybe WAC would consider,
I doubt it.
oh, you don't think so? Donations back?
They can't make donations.
But they could help with improvements like they do with the fields, correct? No? Oh. Don't they build the buildings and, no?
Well, they do, but then they turn them over to the town when they want to build something.
Well, that's all right. They could build the fence up and then turn it back to. All right, anyways, I just wanted to run it by the committee if it was all right,
Yeah.
if I looked at some other ideas and just really start strategizing about what we do to get ready for, even if we don't go for a warrant article for money this year, I think we should know how much we're gonna need, because if we wanted to apply for any grants in the spring,
I think we should go for a warrant article, but I don't know if we have to spend it within the first year. Sorry, I'm worried I
well,
have a tick on
you know, again, I'll do some research. Could a warrant article be crafted that, you know, we raised a certain amount of money 3 years in a row to be set aside for
Yes.
The
whatever, so,
replacement of the,
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to tear it all down.
Yeah.
and-
but
I,
in
I
order,
thought that they did that for that huge item they got for
I think they
the
did too.
DPW where they, that huge trailer that they bought, I think they did that over I think it was over at least 2 years, because I remember they said it's 300 and something, whatever the number, 300 is sticking in my head. They did it like twice, so it wasn't a huge $600,000 hit
Right.
to the taxpayers. It was 300 this year and 300 next year, and
so I was thinking that either, whether we reached out to a local, I know Linesberry and Hennecker, or even the company that's going to do the courts, and say, hey, to do this right, you know, bulldoze it and do it over, because that's really what the asphalt has to come out. What would the cost look like? Because if we were gonna go for any type of grant or warrant article, we need at least something close to what we know the final cost would be. And
well,
then-
the other thing is, you know, can they break it down into sections? Because, you know, whether,
I don't think they'd be able to break it down into sections to redo the court.
Well,
no, but like, if it was basically a blank slate where there was nothing, there was no concrete in there, if we got someone else to come in out and rip out the asphalt.
See, that's exactly, that's
Because
what I would
they
do.
pay by the ton to get rid of that
I
stuff.
would look at breaking it up, like fencing, asphalt, because again, when I go back to in-kind donations, if there was a local business who said, we would come in, you know, and as an in-kind donation and rip it out to save a certain amount of money, and maybe those are ways to, in return, have, you know,
The signs
have
up.
their signs
Yeah.
up. Would the town ever think about naming opportunities? There's no name for that facility. Would, you know, somebody do a donation in return for having,
We have done that before because we did that for like the roof. It said donated by,
right?
you know.
So I, you know, again, and maybe the fencing in donation or in return, that they
Yeah.
would have their sign. So I really I do wanna get it broken down so that we could then maybe say to the public, hey, there's some opportunities here. Maybe there's some businesses in town that would do something, so that's,
That makes sense.
if you guys are okay with that, I'll start talking to some folks to see if we could get an assessment broken down.
I think anything that we have is
Okay,
good. Any
All right.
of that information's good.
all right, so I'll
I
keep
don't know if we
you,
can do like brick walkways. Like if
I
somebody
think there's a
could do
whole
them.
host of things that we
Yeah.
could do,
We
cause a
could
nice,
sell the bricks.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd like to craft a whole proposal of what could be done, and again, what would the pickleball club be willing to help spearhead, kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And then
It
further
would be
dis-
amazing if we had like
further
12
discussions.
Eagle Scouts that were working together.
But even further discussions, does it ultimately, is it 2 tennis courts, or is it 1 tennis court with 2 pickleball courts? Again,
Something.
you know, do we look at some reconfiguration too, based on usage and what the future holds and that kind of thing? So let me just work
know,
over the
and-
summer.
Yeah, and I don't know how much further back we own behind that court, whether you could actually expand it to 3. I don't know. That's something we'd have to
I
go
could
look at.
ask-
Two
I
facing
could
one
ask-
way and a third going the other, maybe?
No, just have 1, 2, 3.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying that maybe depending on it, how it can be configured, we could possibly add another one in there.
I just don't know. I don't know how big, how much we own, how big the plot is, so.
You definitely, no matter what you do, can have 4 pickleball courts and 2
Yeah.
tennis courts. Or you could keep it 4 pickleball, 1 tennis, but 2 of the pickleball courts would have permanent nets.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to be, the
Yeah.
other 2 would be
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. But again, I would talk with the vendors about that and what
Yeah.
space and opportunity. I can get from Naomi what the deed looks like to that. She had sent me the information from the original Warren article.
And keeping
Like
track
that.
of the numbers of people who are using it for pickleball is great, but almost every time I go down there on the weekend, there's people showing up to try to play it lately. I mean, they know people know it's closed, so I know they're not coming, but when I've been there, people have come the last 2 times expecting to play tennis.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know.
it gets
that-
used a lot.
Right. I know that there's one couple who plays tennis Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays at morning. So I know 3 days a week that there's somebody playing tennis there.
Yeah, it gets used a lot.
Yeah, so, all right,
Right.
yeah.
On to skate park. It looks like Nauber is making the ramps. Do we have do we know a delivery date?
I don't have the delivery date. I think they're gonna contact Janine.
Okay. We may need to think about putting the trash can back, because what we're having, the problem is now all the bottles are getting stuffed into the ramp. And there's probably a foot of bottles in the bottom of that ramp. Or
The
we,
trash cans don't work. We took them away for a reason.
or we plugged,
They're
or we,
full that we're just dumping them.
or we plug the holes.
Yeah, the holes need to be plugged.
So, and I don't know, at this point, I don't even know how we'd even get the bottles out with or just seal it in and just leave it, but there's a whole bunch of them in there.
Good to
If
know.
we were a deposit state, there's
I know.
probably $100, $200 worth of bottles in
If
there.
we were a deposit state, we wouldn't have that problem.
But we're gonna put the sign at your own risk. The inside of the court has been cleaned up, so it's good to go. And
I think that sign, Naomi was getting signs for all the
Yeah.
venues, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still signs upstairs that haven't been put out either, because they were up there. Or-
And then somebody's coming to put on the new clips on the fence, because it's missing clips. You have a field usage for,
Yeah, PAC 24 Cub Scouts inquired about selling snacks at Chase Park.
didn't we have somebody else ask about selling something at Chase Park?
That was them.
Yeah.
Was them, or was it somebody else?
No, it was them.
Okay.
So,
I don't remember when we talked to them, but I remember talking to them about it.
did Janine send an email? Because I remember that was a little bit ago.
Maybe.
I didn't know it was the Cub Scouts. I thought it was somebody else.
Is there a place to sell them out of, or
They just put a
would
table in front of the bathroom.
Or down by the,
And that's another thing, if we had a revolving fund, we would just have drinks and snacks out of the gatehouse. Or on the other, or a couple of vending machines in the pavilion or something, but we don't have that, so. Bolton Park, Girl Scout cleanup, tree
Oh,
planting.
Can
they
I
said
go
they're
back to
gonna-
field usage for 1 second?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
8th grade Lake Day is
Oh, yeah.
June 15th, no, June 16th.
we can get that on Chase Park and,
Okay, so we need to hire, somebody, Nick, to be down there, like we did last year.
Nick works at the school.
Nick works at the school.
Oh, no.
The only one that I know would be
Can you
available,
take a day off at the school?
No.
no. The only one that I know of that would be available is,
Oh,
Custodian.
okay.
the only one that I know would be available is, we'll get to it, is that applicant that's on the list.
Oh, yeah,
Does it
that's
have to
right.
be somebody with a,
It's better if we have somebody that is
Lifeguard.
on our application. A
Oh.
lifeguard could work. It has to be somebody who's not in school, that's the problem.
somebody who is an employee?
Yeah, somebody who's an employee and has graduated and isn't in school that day, and we only have that one. And it's an application, it would be a returning employee if we decided to, and they would possibly be available that day. We need somebody there, like we did last time.
Mm-hmm.
Open the gate.
Open the
Things want to be
bathrooms,
there,
check.
Make sure that other people are being told to leave, it's not open for the public.
I thought last year they basically opened the gate, let the buses in and closed back up the gate.
Yeah, but there was somebody there, Nick was there the
Yep.
whole day, and then cleaned up after. So,
What day did you say,
June 16th.
okay.
rain day?
So
It's
such a
pavilion.
bad thing for playing.
What?
I think they go in the rain anyways.
Okay. All right, we'll get back to that. We'll get that when we get down to Chase
It'll
Park.
be wet anyway in the winter.
Girl Scouts,
They're not tree planting, they said they were sorry the tree wasn't gonna work out.
oh, okay. So that makes that a little bit
And
easier.
a lot of this is stuff that's just on here, like the porta potties it's an NA right now.
Because you don't have any, or?
Oh, no, we have them, but the other company,
The other company does not have them.
it's just on the list. the other company.
Will there be one at the tennis courts? I
There
forgot to ask
should
that.
be one arrive, oh, wait a minute, I was waiting until we knew, I was trying to save money.
No, that's fine. You
So,
can let them know.
Yes.
Okay. That any time after the 21st? So you don't have, so they're not there, you know?
And Stockhouse, did we ever get quotes from Stockhouse? And I think we had the quotes, but we don't have the obviously we gotta wait now until the end of the year
Yep.
to see if we have money left over.
Yeah, we don't have it, so that, yeah, these are, a lot of the stuff that's on here is just stuff that Janine keeps on here. So, let me message the porta potty people.
Okay. Did anybody ever check to see if the damaged soccer nets have been removed?
I think they were gone, somebody had said they were gone anyway.
Okay. I thought John was the one that went down there.
Yes, that was him.
We need to check, I don't know if what's on Stockhouse's Is there a way we can, because Stockhouse does majority of our fields, is there a way we can actually get a copy of the bid?
Yeah. I mean, it's town bid, and we can get a copy of it, yeah. You've got it, yep.
I would just think that we would, that way we know, I mean, he does a great job, and I'm not doubting he's doing everything he's supposed to do, but
Oh, no, he's wonderful.
he's wonderful, he's
checks
great.
in, He actually, yeah, he goes above and beyond. Yep.
So, just, hey, you know, where we can do to help.
And I did talk to the person who does the company who does the irrigation a couple of weeks ago, and they were gonna go out and blow out lines and do all that, so.
Okay. And if he knows where the lines are, God, you know, to be able, even to be able to take pictures and say, this is where the lines are, so that we know, so we have some type of, like, adding on to your documentation that says, okay, even if you're down there with him, it's like, hey, here's where here's where we know the lines are, and they're X number of feet from whatever, so we.
Eva and I spent hours out there with them trying to map it out when the whole system wasn't working. So we know where some stuff is.
Okay. And did we ever pick up the other shade screen?
I picked it up today.
Oh, okay,
It's
excellent.
my back of my car. We're gonna put them in on Friday,
Okay,
so I'm gonna grab the other one from here and put, hopefully, because it's gonna be warm on Friday. I wanted a day when it was warm enough that they'd stretch. We'll try to get them both put up.
okay, excellent. The bench plaque, do we ever hear back on how to adhere that?
No, because I haven't called them.
Okay,
I'll put it on my calendar again.
okay. And then the round plastics, I guess it's complete. You're picking up those windows?
It seems like I probably am.
It says, pick up Lisa.
Yeah.
Where are these guys?
They're in Derry or Londonderry.
That was Londonderry.
And they're open until because of course they're ready, so, they're open until like 5 at night, so I'm gonna try to go get them some night when there's not anything going after school, but I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Okay,
Do you have the address and contact and all that?
I don't, I can ask Janine for it. Are you down in that area?
Tomorrow,
Oh my gosh,
and then I can pick it up.
I don't know how big these things are, how big of a,
she has a truck.
Oh, I'm
You
not
have a
gonna have a truck, but
Oh, you're not?
are they that big? I mean, I've seen them, are they,
I would imagine that they're probably 3 feet square.
how many of them are we?
But aren't they flat?
They're 4.
Yeah, they're flat,
They're
that's right.
flat.
They're not
Flat.
round.
But I would imagine that they're probably 3 feet square.
Could they go
They'll
in the
fit the
back
back of
seat
the car, if they're flat, yeah,
In
yeah,
the
they
worst
will.
case scenario, if they don't fit, I won't pick them up,
Yeah,
but I wanna know where they are, cause I don't wanna, I'm going through
Yep.
that area on 93, I don't want to be a half hour off of.
messaging her, she's not on the plane tonight.
And then are they giving us all the hardware to
Yes.
I thought so.
install them?
Yep.
And we're just is there just one remaining that needs fixing, or?
We ordered an extra, so.
I think there's
that they
2
were-
of them that are bad,
And then there was a spare. We
and there's
ordered a
2
spare.
spares, because basically what it is it's the plastic sheet you can get 4 of them out of
Right,
it, so
right,
it's
right.
cheaper to get the 4 than it is.
Why don't you, I'm not promising anything, but if you
Yeah.
give me the information, because if we were down there Friday putting the shades up, we
Maybe.
could take a look at how hard
I
it would be.
think there's a special tool, I know Ryan has it, so I think there was some sort of a special tool for that.
Yeah, I think it's in the shed, I think it's in the irrigation shed.
Okay.
I thought that's where they put it. They hung it up on the, I want to say they hung it up on the wall in there.
I mean, if it doesn't have, but I'd just throw it out there if we're gonna be down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy.
Just
Thank you.
give me the I'm not promising anything, but
But
I'll
maybe.
see what I can do.
Yeah, we'll take anything
Okay.
we get. Any help we can get. And again, for anybody listening, we have service hours, sheds need paint.
Yep.
We have the paint.
Maybe, we can get a hold of the John Stark and
Yeah.
say, hey, look, if anybody still needs service hours for their graduation stuff,
I know, I keep trying, and I've tried, or not lately, but I have tried before, and it's very difficult to get anybody to do it.
Who do you contact up there, do you know? I think that was on my to-do list last year and I never did it.
You have to contact the guidance department.
Guidance?
Yeah. I can't remember the secretary's name. It's not Sarah anymore. If you go to their website, jsrhs.net, you can look up their staff directory.
and they have departments, you just go to down to guidance, and you can get there.
Janine says she sent us the address, and she said.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So, it'll be an email, I guess.
So the mowing beyond the field, that's back to the same one with the weeds inside the playground. We just kinda gotta see
Yeah.
what he does and what he doesn't do, and whether.
I don't know if they added it. We emailed Naomi and asked about it, but I'm not sure if they
Right,
added it.
but if it's not saying, hey, look, for next year, when you I don't know how long the bid's good for, whether it's a
Yeah,
2-year.
it's every year.
Hey, for next year, we want this as part of the contract.
It's by the Red Arrow Diner, Janice. Piedmont Plastics is by the Red Arrow Diner off of exit 5.
It's, oh, Piedmont Plastics. I probably could Google it. Do we owe money or anything, or just
No.
pick up? Okay. And they're open till 5, you said?
5 or 5:30.
I might be able to, I'll, if I can, I will. If I can't, I can't, but I'll try.
Thank you.
Dumpster,
We are using our regular dumpster company.
okay.
I don't know why she's left that on there. I don't know. Need to be on there. We've
And
checked.
then we're waiting on the new tube or a new piece from, on the slide from Burke. On to Chase Park. The gates are closed. Going back to, I have one thing to add onto there. The dumpster guy called me and I said, look, we won't need you until Memorial Day weekend, or the Tuesday after Memorial Day weekend,
Oh, good.
and I will go let him in.
Thank you.
And I said, look, we're only
Are you
open.
sure it's not full now? It had a lot of stuff in it.
I could look. I can try to,
It doesn't matter. We can put stuff beside.
well, no, I mean, if it's not full, there's all that other stuff behind it that we could throw into it and fill it.
Yeah.
And then I can just call, I've got the number, I can call him and just say, hey, look, can you add us on? And, but that means the bill starts. Because right now, the bill isn't starting, so we're not getting billed.
Well, you're still built, well, yeah, not at Chase Park, yeah.
Right, we're not
It's
getting,
8 Liberty Drive.
I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, it did, thanks.
so the gates are closed, the water they got another board in the dam because the water is running really slow in the river below the dam.
So there's no boat ramp fixed this year because of that, because Benji's sick and didn't get there. It's
So
frustrating.
it's gonna be a use at your own caution.
Well, as long as we have the rain that we had last year in July, it won't be a problem because the lake was full.
Yeah.
The problem we run into is if it starts going down, that's when you're gonna run into the problem. But if they say dead center in that, they should be fine. So it's almost like, hey, look, you need to stay a couple of feet off, you need to stay like 3 or 4 feet off that dock and you'll be fine. Because your trailer will go in and go back out.
When there's an issue, it's either it ends up on Facebook or they yell at the kids working there. And we've been trying. So.
Okay,
Hopefully there won't be an issue. The sticker passes have been ordered. The T-shirts have not been ordered yet. I need to get sizes from the kids. And I usually don't do that. I don't order them until we have our orientation day, which is right before we open. I could make some guesses, but
Are we gonna try to have them do it all beforehand and have them come do, like,
put out the picnic tables and all that, yeah. We wanna do what we did before, so we need a date for that. We've done it previously. We did it, the Friday before? Thursday or Friday before, Memorial Day?
yeah, because you should be open on the Friday night of Memorial Day, right? Because you got people trying to put in boats for the rentals.
I'm fine with opening that day, if that's all right with everybody else. I'm not fine with opening that day. I can't be there, until that evening.
Well, it'd be that night, so I would do after school closes at,
I can't be there until probably 7. But we could do our orientation at 7. If anybody shows up, then they show up.
Well, orientation is kind of mandatory, isn't it?
No, I mean, if voters show up,
Oh.
they show up.
either that, or do you want to try to do,
Thursday night orientation, we could do Thursday night orientation.
and get everybody, because everybody's got to get their paperwork done and things like that, so you're hitting the ground running.
I'm sorry. Having I don't know why she's trying to message me or get a hold of me.
So the Board of Selectmen interviewed all 7 candidates and we're good to go.
I have not heard anything, and I am assuming that all is good. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we, do we need to, we've gotta go through, is there anything else in here? Is there anything else that we need to get in here? Talk about?
Well, for Chase Park, I need to submit the use form for 8th grade Lake Day.
Okay.
And Joshua would like to be able to get in and move the blue sign that says "Welcome to Chase Park" to the top of the kiosk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So he
That's
can
not a problem.
finish that up.
Does he need the gate open for that?
Now he can go under it.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
I think we still have the keys
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
we used last fall.
Yeah,
So,
that works.
okay.
I think that's probably where my keys are.
Yeah, that's where your keys are. I have them.
Yeah, okay.
They're hanging on my key rack.
No problem.
We'll come back to we'll come back to the 2 new hires. Nothing new for the library. That would be the only other thing is if you wanted to pair with the pickleball with the library when they do their stuff and saying, hey,
Yeah, last year we did, Clay's part of the club, and, are you talking about doing activities with them?
Yep.
Yeah, so last year we did, a thing for him, a clinic for the
okay,
kids, and I think he did another event up on the tennis courts.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's pretty good at reaching out to us, and,
okay.
yeah, we'll do anything that will help.
Can we back up to Chase Park? Can we have orientation on Thursday, the 26th? Or actually, we did it the weekend before, didn't we?
Yep. Yeah, we did it the weekend before on like either the
Okay,
Saturday or
so-
the Sunday.
It will have to be on the 22nd then. Because
Is that the Sunday or the
if we
Monday?
do it in the afternoon, those kids who are playing sports will have sports. So that's the Sunday. It's 22nd. So that, I would like to propose that we do it that day, the 22nd.
And they have to bring with them 2 form, either a passport or
Yeah, 2 forms of ID.
birth, and I would tell them, this is what you need for whether you get a picture of the W-9 and send that, say, these are the forms of ID.
Do we want to make that a working time, or do we want to have it here?
You have access to the copier to copy all that stuff. You could do it here and then go over there and put all the tables out and all that stuff.
Only if it's okay with parents if they ride with us. Most of them. should be okay. All right, so I will check to see what we wanna do.
Okay.
Okay. What time is good for anybody who wants to attend? I think we should, maybe afternoon,
1 PM.
is that all right? Denise? Yeah. If you want to, 1 PM. Okay. All right, we'll do that. And, yeah, that way I can order the shirts and we'll hopefully have them in before, or I might even text them ahead of time and say, I need your t-shirt sizes.
What date did you decide on?
May 22nd, it's a Sunday.
Yeah, the only thing, Sundays are hard for me because I have church. and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
if
it's
I
okay.
get back in time, I could.
We can do it later.
No, that's fine, I'll see if I can.
I've been joining church online.
Oh,
Oh, services.
I go, so it's hard to get back and.
Yeah. So, all right, so that's that, and I'll email about, about shirt sizes. Okay.
Okay, on to the budget, the trustees of the trust. I have a feeling this is in relationship to the gentleman who actually helped build the original features in the skate park. He's also on the school piece.
Yep.
Is there's actually money that we can request from this, there's, I guess, a trust, town trusts that, you know, we can ask, hey, are you willing to help out in buying new features for the skate park? Kind of like the Emma Sawyer Fund. There's other funds that we may be able to access for skate park. We could also use it for the tennis courts.
My understanding is, and I could be wrong, that there's 2 trusts, the Emma Sawyer, and I'm gonna blank on the name of the second one. So the other one that I can't think of the name of, I was told most of the money in that trust goes towards land, you know, like conservation land, whereas the Emma Sawyer
Yep.
Trust,
Is it at the Mildred Hall?
that's it. I think so it's the Mildred Hall and the Emma Sawyer. Because I know when I went for the tennis courts, going to the Mildred Hall was not an option. Because they didn't do that's not what they give money towards.
Yeah,
Emma Sawyer would agreed to give us money because it was a upgrade repair versus if it had been a complete replacement, they wouldn't have, because that's town responsibility.
Yeah.
So they do have certain conditions, but we went and did a presentation and
Yeah.
did an ask and, you know, they,
I mean, whether we go back to that same group and see if they'd be willing to do the thing. Supposedly, Joe said that there's actually the plans for the original equipment was submitted to the town. So somewhere in some file somewhere is the original plans of how those things were put together. I'm not a building dad, so I will tell you that I can't build that type of stuff. I can help you, and you tell me cut here, cut there, nail that to that. I can do that, but I'm not a.
but are we looking for them to possibly give money towards the current equipment that we bought, or?
No, that equipment's already been was already on.
In the
or-
budget, yeah.
No, it was actually it was a town article that
Okay.
got approved.
Yeah, the only reason we can do it.
So what would we be going to the trust for?
For more equipment.
More pieces of,
So we could go back to Narbear and do a couple, and obviously put it out to bid and say, okay, hey, here's what we want, you know, once these guys come and say, hey, you should do this and do this and do that, and it would look really good.
Yep.
And like, okay, so you have them give us the specs and say, okay, look, we gotta put this out to bid, but
right, because then we could go to the trust and see if they would fund, once you knew how much it cost.
All right, and a lot of this is future business.
Yep. The new shed, I don't know where they're at. They were supposedly working on the stairs last I knew, and I don't know where they're at.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. I think they're done.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
and the
they're
other-
ready
and the
to
other- It's not, yeah, that's a Dynison, so.
so then the building inspector needs to check it, and once it's checked and he approves it, then WAC can donate it to the Board of Selectmen,
Yes.
or to the town and the Board of
I think
Selectmen.
that step has been missing on like the last few shits. Not sure that step's actually taken place or there's anything official. Do you know?
I don't,
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of future business on here. One thing I would like to mention is that casino bus that they talked about possibly us running. I happened to be at an expo recently where there's this company called Terrapin Tours, and they do things like that, and we could like maybe have them come in to do something for the seniors, where the seniors would pay, we would pay, or the seniors will help fund it or whatever. And they have all these different tours they do. Sometimes they go up to Maine for some things, they go to Vermont for things, they go to Boston for shows, for casinos, for whatever. They have all sorts of really neat things that they do. There's day trips and.
maybe we should reach out to our contact and have her ask if there's anything that they would like, a trip of some kind like that.
Maybe doing a
Yeah.
couple of them, like, granted, we do see leaves, but they can go other places to see
Right.
leaves in the fall, and where it's turning, and they do that type of thing where they're out and they go to ciders and apples and.
And there are, I mean, I think we have to think about too, there's a few of the seniors in town that are part of the White Birch and Henniker, and they do a lot of trips.
Yeah.
So would
Yeah.
they even,
I'm not sure, it was
Yeah.
brought up. It was
Yeah.
Brought up by, someone, and I just happened to notice it at that event, and I just wanted to bring that up, that I'm on the mailing
I
list.
think it's worth that, I think you're right, finding out from
Whether
them.
they want to.
And, we wouldn't wanna be in competition with what they're already doing,
No.
but looking at what they've already got planned and,
Or we could have an activity, we could hire like, something like Muse, they could come in, we could get the cafeteria at the school,
Yeah,
and they could do like a paint night, and we could provide
That would be really
refreshments for them,
yeah.
that would be really,
so.
that would be really nice. That would be a really nice scout project.
For what?
So, does it have to be like a standing thing, or can it be an event?
No, they
that
can, they usually sit,
No, I mean, can they?
Is it a recurring thing?
Scouts have to make something, build something, or do something physical, or could they run? Could a scout raise money to run something like that, to have that event happen?
I guess so. I don't see why not.
Okay. If we're done, I really would like to go into closed session so that we can discuss this and also some Chase Park.
Can I ask
stuff.
just one other question on future business? Is there a capital improvement committee?
There is, isn't there?
Yes.
Is it, yeah.
Do anybody know who,
Is it a committee or just a fund?
I don't know that.
isn't there somebody, isn't there a group?
No, it's basically we have to write up a whole proposal for the CIP, which basically turns into like a warrant article on the thing.
Right,
on
so,
the-
but there's a group of people who meet that are the
I think
capital
s- I th-
improvement.
They
Okay.
they're the ones that do the big dollar ones,
Okay.
yes. So they're the
Find
ones that
out
do.
who- I'll look up and see if we can find out who that is. Okay, sorry.
No worries.
No, it's good.
Okay, so what is I don't know the RSA number off the top of my head. Can somebody,
No, Pam's looking it up already, I can tell.
What am I looking up?
the RSA number to go into closed session for employee matters?
I gotta make a note of that. I don't have it. Hold on. All right, according to general court,
Do you want to make the motion?
hold on a second. I'm just making sure that this one fits non-public sessions. Okay. Hiring a person, so public employee is mentioned many times in this, so I'm going to make a motion under RSA 91-A:3. I think it's C,
Yeah, I wanted to say it was C.
to go into closed session to discuss applications for Chase Park.
I second.
All
Oh.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I move that we close our meeting, and we will be going into non-public session, and we will be not coming back after our non-public session, so we are going to close our meeting for tonight.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.